Hi, this is Ushio, and welcome to what may be the last video of Angels with Scaly Wings. We've done the evil ending, neutral ending, and all the bad and good endings for all the characters. All that's left now is the true ending. Continue your journey. We're going to skip to chapter 5, and we're going to see what happens. And yeah, enlightenment. This is, the final stretch. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Okay, here we go. Chapter 5. On the final playthrough. Let's see what's gonna happen. The fireworks are still going. Reza's still out there. Izumi's out there as well, the administrator. And yeah, it's been a long time coming, this one. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. After a night of turbulent dreams, my consciousness returned to the shores of the waking world. Today's the day of the big fireworks. Who to bring? Here we go. Everyone. Bring everyone. I thought about who I should bring to the show this time. Thinking about it, set off a vivid image in my mind of the fireworks I'd seen before, exploding patterns and illuminating the night sky. Suddenly, memories of my many attempts burst forth like the fireworks themselves. All the different things that had happened, the people I met, and also my many confrontations with Reza. I remembered everything. Bring everyone. There's gonna gang up on this guy. Here they are. I'm not sure what to say to this. Well, the science behind the time travelling is actually sound and doesn't contradict anything we know about the portal. I can't say the same about the theory with the wormholes and barriers though. It does confirm what my roommate has been learning and my own experience. I can't believe this is all happening to you. The proof speaks for itself really. I'm not sure about this, it just sounds so... Oh no, time travelling is only something that happens in bad science fiction novels, right? Yeah, he mentioned that earlier. And I thought this was going to be some sort of intervention. I've already given you proof regarding the time travel. You don't have to believe me about the rest though. All of you have evaded peril because of this phenomenon. Yeah, if you go through, Anna, she gets shot and killed in that bad ending. Bryce, he gets blown up by the bomb. Lorem drowns? Remy, I haven't actually done it, but apparently there's one bit he can actually commit suicide because he gets that depressed. And Dean, she has a fatal accident. She crashes because she flies with a wounded wing. So yeah, all of them at some point can get killed in the storyline, and we've avoided all of that. Everyone is here now. Think of the times where you suddenly changed your mind because of what you thought might happen. If you have memories of things that had never happened or dreams that later turned out to be true, you've experienced it as well. And some of those nightmares, yeah, those have happened too. Are you saying that if I'd flown during the competition I would have died? Yeah, I remember things in timelines where I died. The same must be true for all of you. It's not just your imagination. Ah, that's nice and all, but why did you call us here? I mean, what's the point in telling us all this? I know where Reza's going to be in a few hours. The 5 of you are the people I've gotten to know best in the time I've spent here, and maybe you can even remember some of the things we've done together in other timelines. Now I need your help to stop him. Why not just call the police about this? You wouldn't even need to tell him about all the time travelling and such. Well, Bryce is here, you know. But this case is already getting too big for us, and we still haven't gotten the reinforcements we requested from the city. With the fireworks going on tonight, we really wouldn't have anyone to spare. You want us to stop him? It sounds dangerous though. He killed at least 4 people so far, right? And let's not forget that he still has his weapon. What's in it for me? Having a part in stopping a murderer will probably get you a civil honour. Wouldn't exactly look great on us to give someone a medal and throw them into prison the next day, just saying. Knowing Emra, she'd probably make a big parade out of it and have her pardoned. Sounds like a deal to me. Alright, she's in. Of course you'd only help for your own good. At least I consider my options instead of following someone blindly. If she tells you to fly and you ask how high. Alright, I've called everyone here to stop Reza. If we want to make it happen, we should probably start making a plan. Okay, agreed. Same. Okay, where's he gonna be? In the underground building near the portal. He'll try and steal its generator. Okay. Previously, I only realised where he was once he was already inside, but this time, we can think about the best way to stop him. But if we're gonna storm the place, I should probably go first. For one, I'm a professional, and what's more, I'm also an Earth Dragon. That's what makes me a good cop, virtually unkillable by any would-be criminals. I'm not so sure of that. I've seen you go, mate. What's that supposed to mean? Well, all of us together should have no trouble taking him down. I don't want to kill him if we don't have to. Yeah, as the chief I agree. Even if we outnumber him, let's not forget about his weapon. Our first goal should be to disarm him somehow. And how can we do that? Well, I've got a shocker at home. Hit him with that and I doubt he'll be able to hold anything for a while. And we can cuff him after that. I'll show you how to do it. Actually, I'll let each one of you have a pair just in case. You don't have to bring one for me. I don't think I'll be able to use them. Don't worry about it. They were designed with flyers in mind. It's really easy to cuff someone if you know how. Well, if you say so. Okay, we've got a shocker and some handcuffs, so that isn't much of a plan. What are we gonna do? Wait for him to arrive and then all try to cuff him at once? Maybe you should go alone. Yeah, I'm sure Uche called us all here. I need to confront him on his own. What are you talking about? Well, if you want to get him with the shocker, your best chance is to surprise him after you've gained his trust. You may think it's safer if we're all there, because we outnumber him, but in reality, this will likely provoke an aggressive reaction the instant he sees us all. Okay, I agree. You may not be able to talk him down, but in the end, you only need to get close enough to hit him with a shocker. I think he's frightened, feeling like an alien in this world. Maybe that's how he could become a killer, by seeing us as something foreign or lesser. But I've tried doing that before, with one of you staying in hiding until things were about to go wrong. That usually didn't work out as well as it should have. Because your approach of him was wrong, you tried to talk him down, or distract him while help arrived. Okay, what do I do then? Go there before Reza arrives, and act like you're going to steal the generator yourself, carry it together, and as soon as you're outside, surprise him with the shocker and cuff him. Meanwhile, all of us will be in hiding in the area, and watch you to ensure that nothing goes wrong. Sounds pretty good. How'd you come up with it? I read something in a book once. Okay, fine. Wasn't that one in the Sheridan books? Yeah, that lowbrow trash. No comment. Any other opinions about the plan? I couldn't think of anything better if I tried. Do you think you can really pull it off though? Got no choice. We'd better get ready then. I'll have to fetch the cuffs from the department and Anna should get her shocker. I'll also have to make a phone call before I go. Okay, who are you gonna call? Yeah, tell Sebastian not to come in for his shift today. That's a smart move. Alright, let's keep Sebastian safe. This is what it's all about really. While we waited for Bryce and Anne to return, Lorem, Adine and Remy stayed in my apartment and made lunch for everyone. After we all reunited, Bryce showed us how to use the disposable plastic handcuffs he brought. As they were designed to even constrain an earth dragon like Bryce, they were nigh impossible to tear. Okay, we got a plan then. And you just pull here until they're tight enough so he won't be able to pull his wrists out. Got it. Does anyone need help? How about you two? Nope, got it. You're right, it's pretty easy if you know how. Okay, we've got some more time before we're leaving. Guess we can just sit around and wait. The calm before the storm. By the way, how's that investigation about me coming along, Bryce? That's not something we should talk about right now. Besides, I've been busy with the whole Reza thing, so of course you can't tell me anything. I suppose I won't even know when your people will suddenly decide to take me in. Yo, it's not my fault you violated the conditions of your suspended sentence. I'm just following protocol. I better get pardoned for doing this. Or else what? I might as well go through the portal myself if I just end up getting arrested here. I'm just saying. If you don't want to stay here, maybe you should go now. Hey, I'm just helping out. I just want to make sure I'm covered as well. If what I've read about her is true, then maybe she shouldn't get pardoned. Don't believe everything you read in those tabloids. I can confirm, they don't know anything. You don't know the whole story either. Does that mean you lied under oath? Maybe I should reconsider this pardon thing. See, this is what I mean, she only cares about herself. My research has saved thousands of lives, if not millions. What did you ever do for the community? I volunteer at the orphanage, and what's more, I do it to help them, not for my own gain. Why does she have to be the only one who gets something out of this? Well, all of us will probably get a medal. This isn't really the kind of discussion we should be having right now. Anna, you lied under oath, and that's something I can't forget. What are we going to do about it? I'll make you a deal. If you tell all of us right now what really happened back then, and you'll have my support when it comes to being pardoned for helping Ushio stop Reza, how does that sound? Yeah, Bryce is a guy of his word. We don't even need her help. She can just leave as far as I'm concerned. If I'm going, I'll take my shocker with me. Yeah, don't do that. We need that. I want to know what happened. You'd rather know and let her walk? She's already being investigated. Let the wheels of justice do their work. See, I just can't catch a break with these people, even when I'm here trying to help. She may walk anyway. This infraction was so tiny that she may put a spin on it that makes her look like a victim, just like last time. If she tells us what really happened, then that's something we'll always know about her, and how we can be sure she won't do anything like it again. So now you're planning to resort to blackmail. You know what? Do whatever the heck you want, I don't care. Just make up your damn minds. I want to know. Me too. Lorementadine? I don't like it. Does Lorem even know any of these people? Okay, let's hear it then. The majority has spoken. That's it. We all get to hear Anna's story. It all started when I decided to look for new angles to tackle cancer. Since I occasionally work with the police, I got a phone call that they received the victim of some sort of accident. As the victim had no family or relatives, there was no one who could object to her body being used for research purposes. Usually, this wouldn't be anything special, but she just wasn't your usual victim. She was pregnant. Oh fuck! Is this Remy's girlfriend? For me, this opened up a lot of possibilities. Usually, the council wouldn't allow fertilised eggs to be used for research, but here we were talking about a few fertilised egg cells that hadn't even formed into an eggshell yet. They would have perished quickly if I hadn't noticed that she was technically pregnant. I submitted my forms to the research and started my work. Since the material was very sensitive, there wasn't any time to wait for approval, as it would put the whole experiment at risk. Either way, I was sure the paperwork would go through, and I had other things to worry about than what some busybodies would think about my work. My approach was to tinker with the fertilised egg cell's DNA in order to create a living organism whose immune system would be strong enough to combat cancer on its own. Once it hatched, I could make a few transplants, and the new way to fight cancer would be born. In order to ensure compatibility with myself, I spiced in some of my own DNA, enough that it would be considered a member of my own species rather than the parents. What the fuck? The result of my experiment was incubated in an artificial eggshell, and then it was just a matter of time before it grew up and we could see if the procedure was a success. For some reason or another though, my proposal became a public matter. Proposals like mine that needed the council's approval could be seen by anyone and were open to discourse, but people usually didn't care about them unless they had some experience in the field. Not so in my case. Once the media got a hold of it, the rumours ran amok about what I was going to do. People fixated on small details and exaggerated the procedures outlined in the experiment. Self-appointed do-gooders who thrive on outrage made a smear campaign against me, and due to all the ensuing controversy, my proposal was ultimately rejected. It was already a shame that an experiment like mine, one that could help countless of patients both current and future, could be shut down like this, but there was more. Some people were watching me, and they knew I was doing something in my lab. A group of council-approved scientists were going to come to my lab to discuss alternative strategies for what I was trying to do, but I knew it was partly a setup in order to check that everything was going on in my lab was legitimate. By this point, the egg was already substantially developed. Knowing of their visit and that my experiment was now illegal, I had to get rid of it somehow. I would have smashed it if I could, but the fetus inside was already too big to make it vanish easily. In the end, I decided to leave it on someone's doorstep, disguised as an egg left by unwanting parents. Is this one of the kids in the orphanage? That whole affair got the police department in a lot of trouble too, because it was us who gave you the material. Don't you have a single shred of decency within you? Lorem says nothing. Okay, let's not have any arguments here. I could have done much worse than leaving it on someone's doorstep. Besides, don't expect any goodwill from me if you never showed any either. Hey, we were on your side during that whole thing, remember? Yes, but only because I saved your ass more times than I can count. Not one, not a single person that's ever been nice to me just for the heck of it, except for Ushio, that would be me. Leaving an egg on someone's doorstep is such a horrible thing to do. Like you would have done anything different in my position. I would have owned up to my mistake, because I know how these children end up. How they have to grow up if they don't get adopted within a few years, doomed to be nobody's children. And you spliced your own DNA in, so you're basically its mother, yet you didn't hesitate to throw your child away when it became an inconvenience for you. Actually, it's more of a clone than a child. Did it even have a name, or was it just a product for you, a failed experiment? Oh, she did have a name. I even scribbled it on her egg before I left it. Wait a minute. Yeah, connecting the dots right now. It would have been around the same time, but... can't be. What was the name? Why do you even care? They probably found her. She went to a nice family and lived happily ever after. End of story. What was the name? Well, if you really want to know, it was Amelie. Yep, I know her. She's been living in the orphanage all her life, while you went on with yours without a care in the world. Okay, why even that name? After the mother, I guess. But now that you mention it, I think that victim's name was a bit different. Amelia, that was it. Froze to death during the winter night, if I recall correctly. You what? Remy, I never told you this, but shortly after she died, Amelia found out she was pregnant. That means... yeah, where is she? Remy's pissed. Don't worry, Remy. She's being taken care of in the orphanage. We can go there once this is over. No, I want to go there now. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Yeah, if you're going to meet her, it will take some preparation, and you shouldn't see her when you're like this. Besides, we should be focusing on Reza right now. Agreed. Yeah, you're right, this is more important. Yeah, Anna, you just experimented on somebody else's dead partner's unborn fetus, and that's not cool. I don't know. It's time to go anyway. Okay, let's do it. Okay. Soon we arrived at our destination and everyone chose their hiding places. It wasn't easy, especially since we didn't know from where Reza would come from, but with a bit of scouting and help from Adine, they all found suitable places eventually. Okay, into the basement. I went inside, trying to remember the room the generator was in. Luckily, I had plenty of time, and when I found it, I packed it up in a cardboard box that was lying around, just as Reza had done so many times before. Then I waited. Knowing of the various conversations we'd had in other timelines when we met, I could think about what I was going to say and what his likely response would be. I also found it interesting that this time I could be the one who was here first. After a while, I heard footsteps outside. As if on cue, I took the box with the generator and opened the door. Reza, you're here? You don't know how glad I am to see you. I've wanted to talk with you for so long. Where have you been all this time? This is the line he says to me. There's a reversal there. Okay, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. Talking can wait. Now that you're here, we've got everything. Come on, help me with this, and let's go. Reza walked up to me and grabbed the other end of the box. Slowly, we made our way through the building. I can't wait to get out of this place. It gives me the creeps. How so? Ever since I arrived here, a lot of weird things have been happening. I don't like it. Okay, what are you talking about? Something strange is going on in this world. When I close my eyes, I see things. Things that never happened. And things that later turn out to be true. Do you know what I'm talking about? So you do. How is it possible? I don't know. It's just the time travel thing. Don't worry about it. I had my own reasons for coming here today. I knew now would be the best time to take the generator and leave through the portal. What about you? They aren't looking for you too, are they? No, they believe I'm on their side. Then what are you going to do? I had a feeling you'd be here. I figured it out just like you did. We can't wait for them to build us a new generator. Considering they took the PDAs and generators back from you, it's more than fair that we take this as payment and be done with it. Wait a minute. What's up? Something's not right. What? Suddenly he let go of the box, making me put it down. He took a few steps back before he grabbed his gun and pointed it at me. No, this isn't good. Yo, what's up? How could you even know the time I was going to be here? Because of the fireworks, we both knew they give us the perfect cover to do this now. No, that's not it. We've both been here before. I remember us carrying out the box together, and that time you killed me with my own gun. Yo, what are you talking about? It's all coming back to me now. There's not been a single time where you actually wanted to help me. That girl with the mask, where is she? Ari remembers. Bam! There she is! Reza turned around, just in time to see the administrator tackle him to the ground. I ran toward him, but in their scuffle, a few gunshots unloaded. The telltale hiss of the generator sounded throughout the hallway. I turned around and ran toward the exit, while both Reza and the administrator scrambled to their feet and followed me. It's gonna go. When we were all outside, I was swept off my feet as the generator exploded. Recovering from the fall, I looked up, only to see Reza running toward the portal. Bam! Adine got him. Suddenly, Adine swooped in from behind and collided with Reza. He stumbled and fell to the ground, while Adine regained her balance and ascended, attempting a circle to face him again. Oh, Maverick! Reza stood up and raised his gun at her, when Maverick suddenly pounced out of nowhere and pinned him to the ground. Bryce was running toward them when Maverick looked at Reza, growling. Don't kill him! Why not? After what he's done to you, you're not letting him off the hook that easily, are you? Let me cuff him. Alright, do it. Oh, when I arrived, Reza was already secured and ready to go. He spotted me, his face contorting with anger. How could you do this to me? To everyone? You got no idea what I had to do to get here, to get this close to bringing the generator home and to our people. If you had helped me instead of them, we could have done it too. Where were you when that bastard of a dragon bit me, when I couldn't do anything but lie around in pain the whole day with a festering wound? Or when I waited for you at the portal a week ago, ready to leave the parts I stole to repair it, when I shot my gun a few times, hoping you'd hear it so we could escape together. I risked everything when I waited for you. Maverick nearly got me that time too. I could have left without you if I wanted. I had everything I needed, but I didn't want to leave you behind. Should I shut him up? Nah, let him get it all out. You said we would do anything, that together we could save humanity. All those teleportations messing in our heads, don't you remember our plan? I never forgot about the plan. I just wanted the dragons to be a part of it as well. Okay, so what are you going to do now? You'll see, humanity's going to be fine, and so are you. Take him away, Bryce. I just want to know one thing. Who really sabotaged the portal? That was me, Maverick. I knew it was Reza who was stealing the generators, so the least I could do was prevent him from sending them to humanity and escaping through the portal. As long as it didn't run, he could never completely get away from us. Aha. Say it. You were right about nearly everything, Maverick, just not about Ushio. Still, it took an extraordinary amount of bravery and courage to do what you did. Who knows how this would have all turned out if it wasn't for you. It feels so strange to me now, but it's like I just had to follow Reza, that I even knew where to go and where I would find him. I followed my intuition, but the longer I kept pursuing him, the more I thought I was going crazy, and that it might mean my end if I decided to go down this path. Maybe that wasn't just your intuition. Come on, do you want me to help show Reza his new cell? It would be my pleasure. I said bye, Reza. Just as they went off with Reza, I saw Remy and Lorem approaching. Ah, Izumi was leaning against Remy while they walked up to us together, her overalls bearing a large red stain in the centre. She needs some help fast. I tried to give her some first aid, but I don't think it did much. Based on these wounds, I'm not sure if anyone can help her now. She's right, I won't be around much longer, and there are still things I need to tell and show you. Okay, maybe I should carry you. Nah, we have to go alone. Okay, can you wait for me here? Sure. Just don't start arguing again, please. There will be no point now that we stop Reza, it's all good. She actually managed to convince Maverick not to kill him. Ex-boyfriend, and he still listens to me. Isn't that funny? I could tell you about Amelie while we wait, and that would be lovely. Izumi led the way as we walked through unfamiliar territory. Maybe I should start by telling you that I haven't been exactly truthful with you. Okay, whatever it is, I'm sure it's fine. Still, now that we're here, I think I should tell you everything. Here we go. When I was accidentally sent back in time, I wasn't alone. Okay. Did you really think a single person could have accomplished everything I told you about and single-handedly figure out time travel along the way? We were an elite team, sent to a new ground. There were 4 of us. Heinz Foreman, geneticist and project lead. Sybil Thomas, behaviour specialist. Francois Bordelon, military advisor. And lastly me, Otomo Izumi, engineer and maintenance crew. This is the kind of job that is so top secret that I wouldn't be surprised if we were all killed after we hand over the data. Okay, good thing we're not expendable then, yeah? You think they're sending us into the middle of nowhere without seeing us as expendable? People, please, first of all, you were briefed about this, so you should already know what your duties will be. I'm sure you are all well qualified to perform as expected, but let's get to what this project is really about. Does anybody want to make a guess? Since I'm here, it can only mean something with military applications. Good guess, Ms. Thomas. Does it have anything to do with post-traumatic stress disorder? Not quite, how about you? Okay. No idea, get on with it. Let me sum this up in one sentence. Intelligent trainable bioweapons as low-cost alternative to mechanized weaponry in developing countries. Okay. Now, this conundrum we find ourselves in might actually work in our favour. Since we're outside of any jurisdiction now, that means we can do whatever we want during this little project of ours. Just think of the opportunities. You intend to utilise human DNA in this project, don't you? I thought they would do that anyway, and pay off whichever country we would find ourselves in. Okay, but now we don't even have to do that anymore. It will take me a while to repair all the damage and re-establish communications with the company. Until then, we're kinda stuck. Who says we need to wait until then? I don't know. I don't think they'd like it if we just went ahead with the project before they even know what happened to us. Yeah, sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness than for permission. That's how you end up in jail. What else are we supposed to do while we're here? If worst comes to worst, we can just destroy the results. Hey, if it works out, we're the only ones who have a portal into the past like this. It could be the first of many incredible opportunities. Think about all the animals we could use, the raw materials and plants, even the atmosphere. I can already smell all the rare gases that we could harvest. I think that's just the ventilation system being wonky. I haven't had time to adjust it yet. So you're only thinking about the company, but what about us? Are you already thinking about mutiny? I think that would be a bad idea. I thought our salary already contained an eternal loyalty and silence bonus. That's the thing with greed. People always crave more, regardless of how much they already have. All this discussion's pointless. I'm the team lead. I decide. As long as you take responsibility if there are any troubles. Sybil, quit ducking out. I know what the company wants, and I say this will make them more than just happy. In a few years, you'll thank me for it. Trust me. Okay, if you say so. If we're going to make bioweapons, what animals would we have based on them if we didn't end up here? The great thing is we don't have to choose. We already have technology that does all the work for us. We just need to provide the samples. Based on our criteria, we get a customized genome that fits our purpose as best as possible. And you want to give them human intelligence? Why wouldn't we give them as much as intelligence as we can? If they can think too advanced, too abstract, don't you think they might start to have independent thoughts? How are you going to control them? That's what Miss Thomas and Mr. Borderline are here for. With the right training, it shouldn't be an issue. Besides, you know that most human soldiers are obedient, right? I guess. How do we know this is going to work with dinosaur DNA as well? We'll find out, I guess. Should we? It's not a question we ask the company. You should know that by now. Have you ever seen Jurassic Park? If you want to see Jurassic Park, just open the door. Okay, you'll soon find out that all your concerns are unfounded, and I'll show you why. But first, let me talk about our abilities. Now that we have a whole new world of potential samples, we should be able to find even better alternatives to what we have been planning. Okay, what abilities would those be? Flight, armour, fire, to name a few. All at once? That sounds an awful lot like a dragon. Dragons are scary, aren't they? This could be a psychological component. To be fair, getting all of those into the same species could be complicated. You think you can do something nature couldn't? That's why we're here. Okay, what animal is the fire ability based on? The bombardier beetle. We're going to make the mechanism safer and easier to control though. Okay, so we're going to combine animal strengths with higher cognitive abilities. But how are you going to prevent others from stealing the genome? Backyard breeders could be a problem. Good question. There are a number of safeguards we're going to introduce to prevent any unauthorized copying of our product. Firstly, there's the genome itself. Raising these creatures from infancy to a point where they become usable for their purpose will take time. Since we're going to do this ourselves, we have a unique blend of hormones to make them reach this stage fairly quickly. Making them grow up naturally is something that will take so much time and resources as to become unviable by anyone who'd want to go that route. With us, they can be combat ready in months instead of years. Secondly, all creatures will be equipped with a brain implant. Not only will this give them a variety of advantages, but also another safeguard against copying as well. Without the chip, they will either become uncontrollable or die. So even if the genome is stolen, that won't be worth anything without the chip. Okay, genius move. Alright, I know. Couldn't someone just hack or reverse engineer the chip and manufacture it themselves? I doubt it. They're intended to be sold in low technology areas. Even if they can reverse engineer the chip, they don't have the facilities to mass manufacture them. Otherwise, they'd just be using combat robots like everybody else. You want to modify their behaviour with technology. Being dependent on a chip sounds dangerous. What if it fails? Don't worry about it. Lastly, there's the training. Training any living being, no matter if human or not, takes time and money. Not only do we have an automated training program, but we can also use the implant to accelerate the process. Okay, what about direct transference of knowledge into the creature's brains via the implant? That technology is still in its infancy. If we want to get this product out and into the market as soon as possible, we'll need a solution that works right now. Okay, fair. It will give the user full control as well. The creatures will be able to learn from experience, but undesirable memories can be wiped easily. Sounds like you have it all figured out already. The company has been working on this project for a long time, and now it's up to us to make it reach its natural conclusion. Okay, and what's that? Our product is the creature, the chip and the training, all in one complete package. Take away just one of these three components and the product won't work as intended. We deliver them ready to be used in combat from the moment they arrive at the customer's doorstep. I still think we should wait before you rush into using animals that we hardly know anything about. Your opinion has been noted, but it won't carry much weight. Despite my objections, the experiments under highest foreman went full steam ahead. Using the genetic material of many prehistoric reptiles, a variety of species were designed. We started our test with the one that enjoyed the most combat-related improvements, measuring their viability and the effects of our safeguards. Soon, the first proto-dragons were born. One was to be raised as naturally as possible, another was going to receive the hormones for accelerated growth, while the third one was to be trained via the automated learning program. The last one was to receive all of the safeguards at once. They were all identical clones. Caring for them was the task that ultimately fell onto us, in addition to our usual duties. For now, the artificial domestication process on the genome made sure they would be controllable and obedient even without the implant or training. We were already being recognised as pet mates and parents by them. While I knew about the added intelligence, I soon had to realise just how far they'd gone. It was when the first of them started talking. At that moment, I knew that they would never be free and never be happy. They would only ever live a life of servitude or be used as weapons. They were given sapience, only to face a future of enslavement. I knew that the company would expertly manoeuvre around the legal system to make it possible. As I worked my way up the ranks within the company, I had become increasingly disillusioned by the many despicable acts and projects I witnessed, but now I was at a breaking point, ready to blow the whistle on everything I knew about them. While the experiments continued, where they relied on me to repair the portal and return to our time, and I could only buy so much time while I figured out how to proceed. I knew that as soon as contact was re-established, I wouldn't be able to stop the project anymore. It was then I realised I had to do something. Okay. You think they wouldn't need to send someone to take care of this anymore? It should all be automated by now. True, we have a robot that can perform any kind of surgery. They don't even need to send a doctor anymore. Why not have a robot take care of the other robots? Because I'd be the one to create that robot, and if I did, I'd be out of a job. By the way, I think the heater in my room's broken. Would you mind taking a look at it later? I can think of a few ways to turn up the heat. A tempting offer that I unfortunately will have to decline, Mr. Bordelon. I hate these early meetings. Anyone else want a cup of coffee? Miss Otomo, perhaps? You know I don't drink coffee. 3 cups then, as usual. I don't know why they even gave us 4. Oh, wow. It's getting a bit of bad atmosphere between these lot. Okay. Why even coffee? It's not as if we couldn't just take a pill to get the same effect. Ah, but then you wouldn't get the lovely taste, Miss Thomas. Can we just get this over with? Of course, of course. Who wants to present their results first? No one? Okay, I suppose it would have to be me again. You know what? You should all be glad that everything is recorded and transcribed automatically now. In my days, we actually had to write these reports ourselves. Hail to our machine overlords. Can we just get this over with? Of course, Mr. Bordelon, we... What's that? Coughing? Suddenly, Heinz started coughing. When his fit didn't stop after a few seconds, all of us stood up and Francois went over to him. Heinz keeled over, his eyes opened widely in an unfocused stare. He stopped moving before a bit of foam started appearing at the mouth. He needs his injector. There should be one in the drawer over there. Quickly, I went to the drawer, grabbed something and ran up to Sybil. That's not it, you stupid... Oh! Before she could finish her sentence, I drove the scalpel into her neck. She collapsed immediately as blood gushed out of the wound, staining the floor red. She screamed, and Francois turned around to see me holding the scalpel while the bleeding Sybil lay on the ground next to me. I attempted to stab him, but he grabbed my arm and wrestled the scalpel from me, which fell to the floor with an audible clang. He then wrapped his hand around my neck and started to choke me. I fell over backwards and he followed, his hands never leaving my neck in the process. He was now kneeling above me and I found myself becoming weaker by the second. I made peace with the idea that I was going to die. I didn't know what would happen afterwards to the dragons or Earth or to everyone, but at least I could say that I tried. When I came to, it was from feeling something dripping on my face before Francois was dragged away from me. Slowly, my vision returned. I looked up to see one of the dragons approach me before it started to lick my face with its blood-stained muzzle. Oh, got rescued by the dragon. Yeah, Izumi kind of got everyone killed. The other designed species were made, and after making some adjustments to the learning program, it taught them what I wanted them to know. I founded the first village, and they grew up quickly knowing only me as their leader. By the time I left, they didn't even need me anymore. They become completely self-sufficient. So in the end, you gave them even more than life. You gave them freedom. She sat on the ground, panting heavily. There should be a shovel over there. Take it and dig. I did as she asked and began digging a hole in the area she indicated. I wondered what would await me when the shovel hit something hard, and I dug around it, unearthing a vaguely round shape. More shapes followed, and as I continued, I eventually realised I was looking at a body. I lifted it out of the grave before turning it over. It was me. What? You have to understand, there's no other way. Each time you travel back in time, I had to kill you. Having multiple instances of you would have been troublesome. We only needed one of you, one to go through the same scenario over and over again, so that we could learn what to do differently. So this is your graveyard then, full of other instances of me. Not just you, there's also others, and myself. Others? Yeah, in some timelines, they sent someone else instead of you. She was not a nice person. Okay, why did they send someone else? They told me I was the best candidate, as I was going to offer my own PDA for the trade. Because in those timelines, you died before you ever had the chance to arrive here, murdered for that very PDA you gave to the dragons. How many are there? How many did you bury? How many times have we done this now? I lost track a long time ago. How I wish I could forget it all. You only did what you had to. That's a very cool way to understand the situation. Yeah, just roll with it. Do you remember anything about the first time you came here? Let me think. You mean when I confronted Reza alone with that explosive I made from a generator? Then you don't, you only remember the newer timelines. I think it's better this way. I've killed you so many times, and sometimes you did the same for me, or rather a different me. You don't know what it was like when I still had to try and figure everything out. You only remember timelines I've sufficiently tampered with. Okay, what are you trying to tell me? The first few times, I was just watching you. I could see your intentions were pure, and that you were filled with determination, but without my help, you always failed. Everything that happened, from all the murders to the conclusion in the lab, it was all necessary to arrive here. I also needed to show you what kind of person Reza was. You wouldn't have believed me otherwise. Could I have stopped him earlier and saved those he killed? I don't know. If I had died before I could reveal myself to you, circumstances could become unfixable. How many times do you think we tried before we had even the remote possibility to succeed? I know what you did. I've done it too, remember? If you didn't step up to the position back then, we probably would still have to figure out a few things. Sometimes I don't quite know myself why I had to do the things you told me. If we didn't lure Maverick to the portal during my first day, the confrontation that sets up the whole chain of events wouldn't even happen. Your meeting with Reza had to be interrupted, otherwise he would have told you about the plan that night, and from the ensuing talk there would only be two options. Either you would have joined him to save humanity while leaving this world to die, or you would have opposed him, in which case he did not hesitate to shoot you there and then. We had to do a lot of things to make this happen, didn't we? All those other timelines, just to succeed in one. The others might have failed, but we still learned something from every little mistake we made. That's how we could arrive here. What are you going to do now? With the generator gone, we won't be able to stop the comet. Maybe we don't need to. What are you talking about? Back home, there are plenty of empty buildings. If the dragons took the generators and technology with them, we could revive all the infrastructure, the hospitals, schools, everything. They could make humanity an offer they wouldn't be able to refuse. You want to relocate them? Do you even have any idea how many dragons live here? Sure, they may have never settled on another continent, but we're still talking about millions here. Even if they won't accept them, there will be safe passage to set up a new city. I don't think it will come to that though, we have plenty of dead infrastructure and room to fill. It could be the very first city of its kind, with dragons and humans living together. Besides, if we can't stop the comet, this is about as good as it's gonna get. I know you won't settle for anything less. If this is the only way, then I won't object to this outcome. I thought of humans and dragons living together is one that I think bears a lot of potential. Maybe from the ashes both civilizations something new and greater can be created. You don't realise the weight that's been on my shoulders from all the things I had to do to make this work. Now that we're here, I don't think I can continue this existence with these memories in my mind. Now that we've saved them, I can finally rest. Maybe I have to apologise. You were right to want to save humanity too. When both me and Reza only cared for one civilization, you never settled for one. You wanted to save everyone. I guess I was so blinded by wanting to preserve my creation that I refused to see anything else. I'm glad you saw this through to the end. You never stopped believing. If it weren't for you, I never could have done this. And now it's on you to make it work. A city of dragons and humans. I'll do my best. I believe you will. Then I can die happy, knowing that they will be safe and can look to a brighter future. No, you can't die now. How am I supposed to do it without you? Don't be sad for me. I wouldn't have it any other way. Oh, old Izmi's been working hard this whole time. Besides, I'm sure you do a fine job. And how can you be sure I will? Because if you don't, I'll hold you responsible for what happens to them, through space and time if necessary. How can you make jokes like that at a time like this? You have only seen what I had to do, not what I wanted to. If we met in different time at a different place, things could have been very different. I've killed you so many times and put you through so much anguish to make this happen. I only long for your forgiveness and understanding, that you can look at what we've achieved now and tell me it was worth it. It was. Thank you. Oh, and shed a single tear. She closed her eyes as a single tear ran down her face. I moved to wipe it from her, and could already feel the warmth draining from Izmi's body. She was dead. After being told of the comet, and realising that any of their attempts to stop or redirect it would fail without the lab's generator, the Dragon's Council agreed to my course of action, as did humanity. Oh, cool. While the repopulation of our city turned out very differently than humanity had initially hoped, all concerns were naught against the possibility of the vast amounts of technology and generators that the dragons would bring to revive it. Soon, the initiative to relocate the dragons through the portal was in full force, and I, still acting as ambassador, helped as much as I could to make it go as smoothly as possible. After a few weeks, we'd done it, and as the last of the dragons from even the furthest regions had arrived at the other side, the time for me had come to walk through the portal for the very last time. I looked back to their village and saw all the abandoned buildings, doomed to be destroyed when the comet would hit soon. As I walked up to the platform and waited for the portal to do its starting routine, I thought about what would happen now and what would come of this collaboration between humans and dragons. I was sure there was a lot of work to be done, especially if I considered the state of the rest of the world, but maybe our city could be a bastion of Earth. Not as the last one remaining, but rather as the first of its kind, and from it, maybe we'll be able to grow and spread our influence. Maybe, together, we can rebuild. That's it. That is the true ending to Angels with Scaly Wings. It was a long journey, but we made it to the very end. And it was really fun. Some of the scenarios were quite depressing and dark, and lots of people got killed. But by the end of it, everything was explained, and it worked out alright in the end. And it was a really fun game. And I'm glad to have played it. And I hope you enjoyed it too, if you made it this far. I'm proud of you. Okay, so this is Usho signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time in a new game. Does that mean that's it? That's all there is to see? Who knows? Either way, it might be a good idea to keep your save file, you know, just to be sure. Maybe it will come in handy in the future.